3 days, and
Yeah, the flooding is kind of crazy.
yeah.
This is actually, my mom sent me this morning. This is gnarly, man. Look at this. This is kind of, because we're right by a river.
Is that in Jersey?
Yeah. And it's just
Wow.
fucking
I need that privacy screen for all the nosy fucks trying to look at my shit.
I got this phone. This is the newest phone I've had in years. I had an 11 before this. This is the 15 or whatever. And so I bought it, and they were like, do you want to get the protector for the camera? I was like, yeah, sure, right? So if I don't drop it, so these are protective rings. They're like, do you want a screen protector? I was like, yeah, sure. Like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they're like, do you want the privacy one? And I was like, oh, I've heard of those, and I've never had one. So
Yeah.
I got it, and it's super cool because
Yeah.
you can turn it just a little bit.
Can't see shit.
Is that just a regular glass on there?
That's
Is there a different one?
This is like
Yes, yes, yeah. You are tuned in to Offering Something. I am your host, Michael Bernier. Feeling so good to be alive. You know that's the truth. And you know that I love you for tuning into the show. You don't even have to do that, and you do. It's so nice of you. Also have endless appreciation for our sponsors at Enjoy Your Life brand, New Balance, Rockport Brewing Company, and CNA Stores. Yeah, yeah. It's a good day to be alive. Don't forget it. In a room today, oh my golly, look at these people. They're amazing. I'm going to set it off with the individual seated to my left-hand side. Yeah. An accomplished actor, a superstar of the Netflix series, The Society, a Mac of the lights, camera, action. Yeah. An absolute spot-on character. And a blow your mind because he's so kind and nice. Mr. Alex McNichol. Yeah.
what an introduction, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You like that?
I like that. Yeah, I've never been called the Mac of the
Mac of the lights, camera,
Yeah.
action. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you feel good?
Feel great, man. Yeah, I like New Balance. I mean, this is the first time hearing about the other ones, but they sound great. You know, the brewery and all that.
Yeah. Over here, my man, who's always in the room. Yeah. Pretty nice guy. Yo, it's Fall Roots. Yeah. And over here, looking so nice. Yeah, I can just feel your happiness. It's Johnny Dupes.
The dupes.
Yo,
Hey,
Dupes.
guys.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, Mike.
Well is a good way to do.
I wish the weather was a little bit better, but I'm dealing.
Don't let the weather affect your mind. You are the sunshine. On the switcher today. Oh, he's kind of becoming a staple on the scene. It's Mr. J.P. Harrigan. Yeah, buddy. 421, better late than never. How you feeling? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's our pleasure. And then over there, I don't really know who you are. It's Kenny.
Offering Something's
Kenny.
newest security guard.
There we
Kenny.
go.
Security.
That's it. New security in here.
Linfield Zone.
That's right. So collectively, we feel all right. Good day to be alive, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Day.
before any day.
All right.
Floods.
Let's dig into it, Alex McNichol. You know I wanted to say McNichol, but McNichol.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, of
my
course.
Dad appreciates. He might see this. Walter.
I appreciate your nature tones here.
Thank
that
you.
you're
You know,
wearing.
yeah. I was just wearing it. I've been wearing this ever since Christmas. I got this as a Christmas gift. Thank you, Jen. And it kind of fit the.
It hasn't been
the
washed
mood.
yet? Has it hit the dryer?
No, it hasn't hit the dryer. It's still got that nice softness
Ooh,
inside. But once it hits the
yeah.
dryer, it kind of
Yeah.
loses the.
But it's leaving some green fuzzies on the shirts
I
you
got
wear
green
under it.
fuzzies. I got a stain from I think this is margarita pizza from the other day. And,
Look at you.
It
Right.
still smells a little Christmassy.
Where's the
Got
pizza
this
from?
right in. This pizza was from Astral. It's in Boston and Seaport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Astral.
Astral
Something-
Pizza?
Astoral or something. I don't know, some artisan.
So
Nice
Alex brought a bunch of pizza for us today, so that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Some good looking
guy.
stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
Big
not-
love
Shout out
to
to Ash.
Anchor, Stone Deck
Anchor.
Pizza, and Ashlyn over there.
Yeah.
You know we love you. So in my introduction, I made it clear, I feel, that you are in the acting field. You're an actor.
Yes.
Okay,
That's my
Mr. McNichol.
profession.
So
Yeah.
within this profession, what is the current project that you are involved with?
Currently, I'm working on a medical drama. It's called Dr. Wolf, but that
Yeah.
might change. I don't know if that's the current title, but it's about Oliver Sacks, who's a British neurologist. And, we're set to shoot that next summer, or this summer, I should say. Coming
Right.
up. And probably in
I'm
Toronto.
glad you changed it from next summer to this summer.
Do you play Oliver Sacks in that?
I wish. No, I don't. Zachary Quinto plays Oliver Sacks. He's this great actor. He's in Star Wars and Heroes, a bunch of shows.
Okay.
I play just an intern, like one of his little intern
Very cool.
young
His
doctors.
cronies?
Yeah, which is
A lot
pretty
of
fun.
decent amount of screen time.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's kind of like House, that setup where it's mostly follows one doctor, but then
Yep.
you have your patients throughout the season, and then he's got his little group of doctors around him.
Jesse, I know you're watching this. You're gonna end up watching this.
I hope so, Jesse.
So where's that going to be filmed at? Where are
Probably
we?
Toronto.
In
But,
Toronto?
yeah, the show takes place in New York, but it's a lot cheaper up in Toronto, and they have amazing
Wow.
facilities. So that's probably where it's gonna film.
Going to
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about Canada yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Ooh, Canada.
Yeah,
Right
it's a
on.
great place. Yeah, Toronto's very fun. It's like the Boston of Canada. In a way. I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that, again, the working title is Dr. Wolf.
Dr. Wolf, yeah.
And that won't be out there until 2025.
That'll hopefully be out in the fall.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, so it'll
Look
be
at
NBC, and they're hoping to kind of get it out for the football season to kind of go hand in hand.
That's on
Prime time.
NBC.
Stuff. Yeah, NBC.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
That's
very
huge.
excited. It's a really great group.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really it's fun learning all the medical terms because I'm not. Obviously, I don't know any of these words.
Stethoscope.
but Yeah.
Scalpel.
Now, when it comes to that, are they
Oxcarbazepine.
sending you like packets of material to go over?
Kind of like for each episode for the scripts, there'll be like certain vocabulary that kind of gets highlighted and all.
It's
the
almost like you're
meanings.
going back to school.
A little bit, yeah, which is
Cool.
kind of fun about acting in general. It's like
Yeah.
because you kind of do get to wear a lot of hats and get to pretend to be these other.
And you're learning
professions and
real
stuff.
information.
Real information, yeah,
Which
yes,
is
that's true.
Also,
Yeah.
So do
interesting.
you start
Yeah.
to feel like you can diagnose people? Like, are you feeling like
You
a
know,
doc right now?
He brought
Honestly,
a stethoscope, Mike. It's
yeah.
actually under his shirt, I think.
Well, it's funny you say that, but
You're
yeah,
writing
we had
scripts.
to learn about these like.
I think my heart's beating fast.
Yeah, well, we had to learn about these different medications that are, obviously there's different classifications, but they all have certain parts of their word. So, like, I guess, like, oxcarbazepine, and I think, I'm going to butcher it, and anybody who's in the medical field's like, this guy's a fucking idiot. But there's certain ones, and they are specifically for certain things like anxiety or heart medication and
Yeah.
stuff, and those have a certain root word or a certain part of the word. So you can kind of start, it's its own language, and you
Relation,
start,
yeah.
you start kind of picking up on like, oh, I don't know, I've never heard that word, but that must have something to do with
Look
this
at
type
you.
of, disease, or this type of, treats this type of.
Be writing scripts for mushrooms.
All right, Dr. McNichol.
Yeah.
How did this all start? Like, you're a kid
Acting?
going to high school, and then all of a sudden, it's lights, camera, action.
No, I, in high school, I guess it kind of like maybe a little bit started there.
Where did this?
because-
Where were you born? Where did you come out of
Well, I
the
was
womb?
born in Flemington, New Jersey.
Flemington.
Yep, came out of the womb in Flemington, and I grew up in Frenchtown, which is another about 10, 15 minutes from there. And in high school, I was mostly playing sports and video games and stuff
What
like
sports
that.
were you playing?
Basketball, soccer, baseball.
Were you good?
Yeah. I was okay. I never had that killer instinct. I never
Yeah.
had that, like, I was more of a facilitator in
Yeah.
all those sports.
Yeah.
Not on the
And-
starting lineup on any of those teams.
No, I was on starting, but but the thing was, I just never. I don't know. It was always more. Maybe it was a little bit of a shyness, maybe to
Yeah.
as far as like shooting went, and I
Yeah.
was just more into passing and more into defense, that type of thing. But I had a great time and I loved it, and it was something that when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be an athlete. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing. And but then as I got older, you start playing against kids that are 20 pounds heavier, 4 inches taller, and like you start
Competition
seeing their-
rises.
and their
Yeah.
athleticism. And so I got to college, and I was like, oh, this is, and I was at a D3 school, and they were kicking my ass, and in the tryouts. So I was like, oh, this is not really. I don't see a future in this for me, you know,
Yeah.
a profession. But I did mess around with some TV film production in high school.
Okay.
And I had fun just making sketches with friends, and I had this great English teacher who she knew I didn't love writing and I wasn't that skilled at it. And so for book reports, she was like, well, if you want, you can make a movie based on the book with your friends, and I'll grade you on that. And so she gave me this amazing opportunity, and so me and my friends would make these films based on the book, and I just had fun with it. I never thought about it as like a
Were you
profession
acting
or
in
that.
those, or were you on this
Yeah,
side of the
yeah,
camera?
acting in
Okay.
it, yeah, yeah.
In school
film.
never
Yeah,
would have
okay.
allowed that, and
Yeah.
if she did, it would have
Yeah.
given
Now,
other
fast.
people opportunity.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, she was. Well,
What was
she-
that teacher's name? Do you remember?
Ms. Gray, yeah,
Ms.
Ingrid
Gray, shout out to
yeah,
you.
Yep.
Gray.
Yeah, she was great. She knew that
Great.
kids, you know, not all
Yeah.
kids learn the
Everybody
same.
learns
and
different, man.
Yeah, so she was really great, and so I had fun in that, but then I never thought about it as a career. And then fast forward to college, you know, I'm hanging out. We kind of talked about this briefly when I got here, but I was a sport management major. Well, I started out as elementary education. And
Yeah.
then I kind of shadowed a teacher, and I was like, this is insane, the amount of patience that I need to deal with 20 kids or more. And so I was like, I don't think I want to do that. And then I became sport management because I just was familiar
What
with
does that
it.
consist of? Sports management.
This was, well,
What was the term again?
sport management was the major, and but I never went to class. I was always skipping class.
I had that
so
major
I wish
too.
I could tell you what
I'm not
what that
sure.
consisted of, but it was
Yeah.
mostly like anything on the team side of professional sports. So, you know, box office, front office,
Okay.
management, and all
Yeah.
that, general management, all that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a general overall about the sport industry, or about athletics in general. But I wasn't going to class. I didn't care about it. One night I was tripping on mushrooms, and I was like, why am I spending all of
All
my
right.
parents and my money and getting into debt for something that I obviously don't care about? I'm
Was
not
that the
going to
first
class.
time that
Right.
you ate mushrooms?
That was the first time I ate mushrooms, yeah.
How much did you eat?
Like a good eighth. It was probably a little more.
Were you with a
because-
bunch of people?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. So like I had my, this big pot phase, so to speak, and I just was like loving it. I was buying it, I was selling it, and then my friend who I was buying it from was like, hey, do you want to buy mushrooms? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Let me ask my friends who I sell to, like maybe let me see. And then I was like, hey guys, my guy, he has mushrooms. Should I get some? And they were like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, yeah, get some. So I bought all
Have
these
some fun,
mushrooms.
guys.
Yeah, and I had never done it before. And I'm like, oh, it's probably like weed. You get high, and then you end up sobering up. And then so I took them, and then little did I know, hours and hours go by, and I'm like, man, it's got to be like
Next thing you're on tour with a jam
4 or
band.
5 in the morning, yeah. And it's only really been an hour, and I'm like, so I started like losing it, and I was like, whoa. I was like, if I feel sober, but I obviously am not, then like, when am I ever gonna actually know that I'm sober? And then I started having these like flashbacks of, people giving you the drug talk when you're a kid. And I think my dad maybe one time was like, don't do psychedelics because people get lost in their trips. And I was like, oh no, I'm like, I was like, I'm going to be that weird uncle.
I just
Like,
went
a
down the
holiday
rabbit
party
hole.
Years from now, and they're gonna be like, yeah, he
That's
took
Alex.
mushrooms
He's
back
a
in
little
the day.
weird. Just,
Yeah,
He didn't
and
come
so-
back from a trip.
Yeah, but it ended up being like one of the best things because
Opened
after
your
I
mind.
calmed down a bit. Yeah, I was like, well, what do I enjoy doing in life? Why am I going to school for this thing? And I was just going to school for what I was originally going for because I was like, oh, I'll get a job. I'll have, it'll be steady, it'll be stable. But then I was like, I don't want to do something that I hate. I don't want to spend 5 days out of a 7-day week doing something I don't care about, looking forward to 2 days. I want to do something that I look forward to every day, and like, not that it won't be challenging or hard, but I'll at least enjoy the whole process. And if I stop liking it someday, then I'll just change again. And so then I kind of was like, well, what do I enjoy? And at the time I was doing an acting class for fun with some other friends, and that was
the one
only
class you were going
the
to.
only one I was going to, the
Hey.
only one I was like looking forward to every week. And like, yeah, so I tried out for the program. I got in somehow, and then I've been doing it ever since. It's been fun.
So, Alex McNichol, the catalyst, the jump start, the fire that lit it for you becoming an actor was consuming psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, I think. Well,
All right. Should we all eat some mushrooms right now?
yeah, I think that was definitely the fuel. And then for me, my parents were artists, so my dad was an opera singer, and so he was always trying to get me to do like performing arts of some kind. But I was always like, no, like
Not my
playing
thing.
sports, I'm playing video games, I'm doing that.
I don't even
I
like
never-
shooting because people look at me when I do that. I'm more of the passive
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Acting
Dad
is-
must be stoked now. It kind of
Yeah,
comes around.
Yeah, he's been nothing but supportive, and my mom too. She would always do community theater growing up, and they were always like, I'm telling you, every summer they were like, you want to come do a play with us, or you want to try out for this? And I was always just like, no, like I never even gave it a chance. And so when I did that, yeah, they were all about it. They were like, fuck yeah, go for it. You know what I mean? Like we support you. Like, go for it. Yeah.
So you
I
lock
was lucky.
into the theater program, the
Yeah.
acting program at your college. What
Yeah,
college are we at here?
DeSales University in Center Valley,
DeSales?
Pennsylvania.
Okay,
DeSales, yeah.
we're at DeSales.
Yeah.
We go through the program,
Mhm.
and then we graduate. How do you start getting roles? Are you like in plays? Are you doing plays?
No,
first?
that was tough. That was because they taught us how to act. They taught us about performing. They taught us how the theater works. But there was very little talked about how the business.
business
like,
side of it.
Yeah, and so that was tough
How we do it?
because you kind of had to learn that on your own. And so when I graduated, I was like, oh, this is easy. You know, I just make a profile and people are gonna send me auditions and like it'll be
Here he
great.
comes.
I'm my own
we've been
agent.
waiting for you, Mr. McNichol.
No. Well, the first thing I didn't know what I was doing, so I moved to my buddy's couch in Northern Jersey, and I was like, I'll do New York. This will
North
be easy.
Jersey.
It'll be great. And so I made a profile on like Backstage and what some other casting things, and then I thought that was it. And then I thought, you make your profile, and then people that are putting out the jobs, they're looking for the profile, and then they send the people auditions. That's not how it works. And so I spent like a good month just like literally waking
What's
up
Waiting
every
for
happening?
nothing.
Nothing. I was just
'Cause-
hanging out. Yeah, I was just like working on monologues, and then I'd do like push-ups and do a little workout. And then I'm like, oh man, when are these auditions gonna come in? All of a sudden, a week turns into a month. All of a sudden, a month turns into 2 months, and I haven't done
Wow,
anything.
my chest is getting big here,
Mark
but I got
Wahlberg.
no work.
Yeah.
So what did the 2 months turn into?
That was the summer basically, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna figure everything out because this isn't what I thought it was, kind of deal. I started getting a little like self-conscious and discouraged, and but
Wait,
then
so you never considered pursuing the work?
Well, that was the thing. I thought I had already done that. I was like, all right, I went to
You-
school.
by going
I
to
got
college,
college,
you got a major.
I did all this,
You
yeah.
made a page?
Well, I did. We did a showcase, and then so we
You're
had,
not
we had these great agents that came in and watched the showcase. I had meetings with these agents, which I thought went well, but now I look back at it and I'm like, that was not a good meeting at all. Yeah. No wonder they never called me back. And,
It's good to
yeah.
accept your
Why weren't
failures.
they? Do you want to share why they weren't good meetings?
I think because I was going in there trying to be who I thought they wanted me to be, and
Instead of being yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of like, oh, like I can do anything. Like I'm like, what do you need? Like I'm an actor. Like I'm this
they
thing.
wanted
and I can,
the,
and
the
they're like,
humble
well, who
guy
are
that you are.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, who are you and what are you? And then like how can I manage that product, so to speak,
Cool.
in business terms? And I thought it was like a date, and I was
They're like,
almost
no, it's much easier than this. You just need to be you. and
yeah,
then you hire
exactly.
you.
Truly, at the end of the day, that's really what it is, and like because we're all bringing our unique thing to the table, and if I'm trying to give the producers or somebody something that I think they want, that ends up being this really shitty version of something that somebody else is probably giving them that's better, that's more authentic, and all that. And if I just can be my authentic self and just show them what I can do and what I'm bringing to the table, and then that's it. They can either take it or leave
Mike
it.
preaches this shit weekly to be
Yeah.
yourself, to
Oh,
live your
nice.
life, to
Yeah.
don't do anything you don't want to do. And so
Yeah.
he's sitting here
With
like,
the concept
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
it being you are the most appealing you can ever be when you're being yourself. It's you we want, not your neighbor, not the guy on the TV screen, which could be Alex. We want you being yourself. That is the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's who we like. When you come in, you are the sunshine. People smile. When you're trying to be like somebody else, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
and it
well,
doesn't
like you
work
said.
out.
Yeah, it's very unattractive. And then I realized I was like, oh, I was basically
Who's
like
gonna
going on these
be?
meetings, and they're a date, and it's like if you go on a date with somebody and you just are like, yeah, what do you like? Oh, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Like I like peanut butter is the greatest. But if you do that, the person gets bored. They're like, I don't really know this person. They can't
Who
really
are
connect
you?
with them. Yeah.
So
And-
now when you go into one of these meetings and they're like, okay, what do you bring to the table?
yeah.
What's your answer? Like, who are you in the
When they say
acting
they
world?
like peanut
Yeah.
butter now, he's like, no, that
Mostly
sucks. I
high
like
school
this.
jock or like a young, yeah, like I don't get, I mean, that was the other thing. I was like realizing that I'm not James Bond or I can't be Jason Bourne maybe later in life, but like right now, what am I? What do people
Grow
see
into
me
that.
as and what can I use? And so my background was in sports, so I was like, okay, I can be this young athletic guy. And that luckily there's a lot of there's a lot of shows that have those characters. So yeah.
So this is a common thing, and I can ask you. So often when we see shows on television that include people in high school, they're clearly a decade older than high school. So when you're applying for those roles and they're looking for high school people, what age are they actually seeking there?
Well, that's the thing. There are some people that are that age. Like we did a show, The Society, which is a blast, which is really fun right here in Massachusetts. And that we had a couple kids that were like 19, 18 maybe, playing 16, 17. So still older, playing younger. But that was in 2018. I was 28 probably. Yeah. So I was by far probably the oldest. And like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of, I don't know if it's necessarily fair because, you know, a kid watches that show and they're like, why don't I have abs like that, or why don't I look like that? And
he's such a man.
Yeah, and it's true because there are these young adults playing, you know, and I know people that are in their 30s that are playing high school roles still, which is like good for them. They have great genes and whatever, and they look great.
Johnny could do it.
Yeah, but it's also like, you know, it's kind of crazy.
Stop.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Look, he's in, man.
Now he's chiming in on it.
I'm his agent.
Okay, keep camera. What am I? Camera 4. Keep camera 4 off for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's crazy like that. It is true. It's there's very much the thing you see on the TV is a little bit smoke and mirrors, and it's not always what you think it is. And there are people who are in their 30s playing 18.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your answer would be I'm kind of the high school younger jock.
Yeah,
that's where I fit in the sports world.
Yeah.
Anything else that you also, and as a subcategory, I also crush it as an axe murderer.
That'd be really fun. I haven't done that one yet. Yeah. Action. Oh, The Rising Hawk. Yeah. Check it out. Yeah. It's a fun one. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm transitioning now. Is like I'm getting gray hair. I
Welcome to the band.
Yeah, a lot of high school kids got gray hair now.
I think they could put you in a suit and you could be the guy that doesn't talk much but is a super badass. Like,
would love that. Yeah.
You have a cape? Are you wearing a cape?
Don't have a cape.
Yeah, I'll be
younger nephew or something in training.
Yeah, his nephew or his grandson or something. Yeah,
his grandson. Damn, we're getting that old. Huh?
I think we're getting there. Yeah.
When you were Andrew Ford in Criminal Minds, people love Criminal Minds, right?
Yeah, great
you
show.
were right. Is that who your character was?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
Wait, you were in Criminal Minds?
Yeah. So
that show was funny because that show I grew my hair out at that point, changing it up a little bit because I was always kind of clean cut, shorter hair, very much like yourself. And then so I grew my hair out a little bit, and I auditioned for Criminal Minds like probably 6 times before getting that role for 6 different episodes. And you know, they're always bringing in new people. They're always auditioning. It's a great show. But I had longer hair, and I ended up getting this role as this kind of quieter, introverted kid who had been molested by his teacher. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing where it's like, you know, you're talking about...
I've definitely seen the episode.
and they end up kidnapping the teacher, and they end up, like, you know, kind of torturing the teacher.
Hold on, you end up doing that?
Yeah, me and the other 2 guys.
See, now that I met you, I'm going to have to watch all this shit, which is going to put a lot of time.
But the thing is, like, you know, it is true. It's like, well, what do you look like? Who are you? What do you bring to the table? And that's one part of it. But then it's like, if you want to change that, acting is a great thing that you can do that. So you grow your hair out, you know, you change your body type a little bit, you gain some weight, you lose some weight, whatever, and you end up getting seen differently. And so these people see you as a different role. And luckily I got the role because of, I think, a lot of my look at that time.
To change that look.
You look like a psycho.
Yeah, take that into consideration too. Like this guy wants it.
And you're building your resume the whole time, though.
Let me run off the names of some other shows you've been in here, and you stop me when it's something that is exciting to you that we want to touch on. Because there's, what do you have, 34 acting credits now?
I've been doing this for like 10 years. Yeah, a long time.
It's insanity.
Full-time job.
So
full-time,
what's like Transparent?
Transparent was amazing. Transparent was this great show about a family.
Where was this viewable? Where were we watching
it? Amazon. You can check it out on Amazon. It was one of Amazon's like first shows when they kind of made this like they've made a whole TV film department. This is back in like 2014, I think.
Yeah, 2014. Colton.
Yep. And that was fun because I was on set shooting this college football movie, and the role in the breakdown of the character was like a high school football player or something like that. So I sent in a self-tape while I was down there, And for my slate, I was on set, and I just
for those that don't know, what is a slate?
Oh yeah, slate is like your name, height, location. It's kind of just like your little intro to your audition before the audition. So you film that, and then you film the scenes for the audition. But I had my football gear on from the movie, and it was kind of a joke, and it was kind of funny. And but I looked the part again. I looked like this corn-fed football player kid, and so that worked out. I got really lucky on that. And that show is just so brilliant and heartfelt, and it's about this patriarch of the family who ends up transitioning into being a woman, and so the show is called Transparent. It's transparent, but it's also about the whole family dynamic and everybody's stuff that they're all dealing with as a family. And it was actually a personal story of the creator, and so they kind of just were like. It kind of it happened to them one day. One day they're at a family funeral, I think, and their father came dressed as a woman, and they were all like, "What's happening?" And he was like, "This is who I am. This is who I've always been, and this is me." And so they were like, "Oh, this," and they were already a TV writer. They were very successful. They were kind of like, "Well, maybe I'll write about this as like a show." And so they took that and they made it into a show, and it was a very incredible, successul show for years.
And they needed Alex McNichol.
They needed me, this little corn-fed Iowa-looking kid from the Midwest.
You got a Midwest vibe. All right. McFarland, is that something? McFarland
was awesome. Yeah, that was back in 2013. That's
you love that one.
Yeah, that was great. That was another football character. That story was an incredible true story about these kids from the small town in California who were very, very poor, and they ended up going up against these big schools and winning these running competitions. It was like a cross-country team. And I was actually part of the story that wasn't true, but they added it in for this dramatic effect in the very beginning of this movie. It was like a high school kid who was on a football team that was being coached by this coach, and he lost his temper at the kid, hit him, got fired from that school. He ends up going to this small town, starts coaching the running kids, and that's how it runs off.
Can you just cry on command?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I wish I could. Yeah, but,
are there people out there that are doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. There's people that are just so in touch with their emotions that they can just at the flip of a
switch. What are the rest of the people doing? Just squinting and
putting menthol in the eyes and like getting some stuff going. Thinking about something really sad. Turning on the news.
So is this true? I always thought like
no droplets in the eyes.
I was gonna say I always thought like. So we have all these cameras. I could easily tell Kenny or JP right now. I could be like, cut the cameras. Then I could, dual Visine drops and then tell you to start. And then I look forward and do they do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some people, for sure. I mean, especially for scenes like that, like you're saying with like, theater versus TV film, you can get away with that on TV film.
Yeah.
Can't do that on theater. But yeah, tear sticks are a popular thing. They're like
tear sticks?
Yeah,
tear sticks.
Like these little sticks.
New
that's
lingo.
what Mike was looking for.
Yeah.
He was looking for something like that.
Yeah.
So what is
it's
it?
like
we need some of those, don't we, on the show?
Yeah.
Sure.
It looks like
I mean,
lipstick.
people
it's
like
like
it when people are crying,
stick.
I
You
guess.
just rub it on your eye real quick.
And it'll make you dump.
And you keep
it'll make your eyes
well, you
dump.
keep your eyes open a little bit, and then they start getting watery, and then and then if you just can tap into some sad stuff, you just start going.
Oh, shit. So you use the tear stick.
Hey, can I ask you another question then?
Of course.
So when you've applied the tear sticks now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're tapping into something sad.
Yeah.
Are you okay to tell us what that sad thing is that you go to?
A lot of the time I'll try to make it with whatever the character is going through.
Oh, you don't go to like a deep, like when your dog died situation?
I haven't really gone. I've done that. I actually did that once this past summer. I was working on this movie about these three friends who were reconnecting on a hiking trip. And there's this really sad scene about one of the friends because there's a rumor going on that, he was in a car accident. But then you find out that there's a rumor going on that it was actually a suicide attempt.
Yeah.
And so they have this really big moment where they're in the woods and the guy opens up about was it a suicide attempt or was it not, and for that I was sad about the whole suicide thing, but I wasn't connecting to it deeply enough personally to get me going with tears. Yeah. So what I was pulling from then for that was a bit of a heartbreak situation because I was kind of fresh off of this little breakup-y situation, and that got me going. I put on some music. I listened to the song that reminded me of her, and then I just kind of had this little, and then it was great. And then and you step into it.
Do you actually have like what you said? Do you have a moment to sit, put your
let me get into the scene.
You're like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Sometimes
trying time, baby.
You don't have everybody like.
No, sometimes it is like that. Sometimes you don't have that luxury. But we were out in the woods. It was a small crew. It was an indie film. So, like, we had the time and we had the space that everyone was able to, you know, kind of give that, which was great. But sometimes it is, like, 50 people in the room. And
you're like,
you're on the
buddy,
clock.
you got to go now.
Who's the girl that's making you sad?
Yeah.
Do we get to say her name?
No.
We're not giving her that. You don't get that shine, honey.
No.
She's like, what year? What's the show? What year was it? It was me. It was me.
No, but it was.
I made you cry.
So do you got a current girl, or are you just hanging?
No, just hanging, just dating.
Just being a movie star and shit.
Just hanging.
Yeah. No, just enjoying the single life and But it was actually, you know, going back to the heartbreak thing, not to harp on it too much. She broke. No. She it was one of the best. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It was honestly, it was like those moments where you can kind of be vulnerable and look at yourself and be like, oh, like, yeah, it's a two-way street. Yeah, it's 50-50, all that. But, like, yeah, I did do some things that pushed this person away and that I'm able to look at and then grow from. And so it ended up being a beautiful thing.
So you don't think that you are the best thing in the world? No. You're not perfect?
No.
And you're willing to admit that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have control over your ego?
I don't know if it's control. I think I'm able to, like, dance with it. It's definitely.
Are you nice to the people at the counter at the gas station when you go in and get your snacks?
Of course, yeah.
What are your snacks in there when you're having a little snack attack on the road and you run into the gas station?
Okay. Lately, it's been Quest bars. Those little protein bars. Those have been a staple.
You can get those at, like, Target.
Yeah, I know. I should buy them by bulk
Sunoco.
instead of spending like $4.
$3.99.
Yeah.
What's the Quest one that you like? Do you like the peanut butter pretzel thing?
No, the chocolate chip cookie dough is the classic.
The one I haven't tried. Really? Is that the best one? Joke's on me.
Honestly, I think cookies and cream is really good. Yeah, honestly, those are the best ones. Yeah, but also I got these crazy Maui onion pretzel twists the other day when I was doing that trip from Sarasota to Pennsylvania. They were insane.
It sounds like there's too many ingredients to me, Alex.
Did you have any Checkers when you were in Florida?
Checkers? No.
You don't eat that type of shit?
I mean,
what's your favorite type of food?
Pizza.
Favorite color?
Blue.
He brought pizza with him. Carry on.
Yeah, kind of plain, boring.
Blue?
I wasn't eating meat, but I actually am eating meat again. Yeah. Well, so I'm trying to not be as dogmatic about things. So it's like if I want to eat it, I'll eat it. If I, and if it's coming from a good place, even better. You know. But if I really don't want to eat something, I don't eat it. Or if I really, so yeah. So it's just trying to be not dogmatic. Yeah.
Why aren't you wearing blue?
There's blue on my
it's a real stretch here.
No, it's true.
Were you a politician once, like your friend over here?
Yeah, he's wearing the blue for me over there. Great.
That's right. Enjoy your life,
player. Enjoy your life sweatshirt.
Look at that. Come on, boy.
Let's go to camera 5.
Styly. Yeah.
So do you ski or snowboard? Any ski or
Probably
snowboarding
black.
going down? No?
No, black. Yeah. So few and far between that every time I do it, I have to relearn. And I spend half the day falling on the mountain.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you guys? I know you're talking about Muddy before you're big.
Yeah, he's just I ski.
Muddy's a legend.
Surf a lot.
No,
Yeah.
I've never been on a mountain with the skis or the snowboard. I've been in the lodge coming up as a musician, so I'm on that side of. There they go. There they go.
Yeah, there they go again.
Let's talk about at some point throughout your acting career, you stepped onto a set and you're like, oh damn. I can't believe I'm working with this person. Who was that for you?
Many times it's happened. The first time was on McFarland with Kevin Costner. He was the coach. Yeah, and that was like a surreal moment. And I got hit in the face with a cleat. He pegs me with a cleat right in the face.
Kevin Costner hit you in the head with a cleat?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm never washing this cheek again. Like, this is amazing. Yeah, and
Can I touch it?
Yeah, it was this one right there.
Is that a fake
Kevin.
cleat?
I'm gonna
It
call
was
you
a
Kevin.
fake
Soft?
cleat. It was foam. Yeah. But those things, when you whip them, they'll still do something. Yeah.
How was his hit? Did you feel like he had a little strength to him?
Absolutely, yeah. And he sidearmed too. It wasn't like he was just like because it was quick and he threw
wanted
it.
to hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Which I get. I had a very punchable face. I still do. And like, but you know who else was in that?
Corn-fed, punchable face.
Well, and then so in the scene, I'm making fun of this kid who's like the team manager and he's got a limp and stuff like that. And the kid who was playing that role was the voice of like Phineas and Ferb, one of those. So that was kind of like a double whammy. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm working with these crazy, amazing big time people. And so that was a big one. The biggest one though was Christian Bale. It was like
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
So let's dig into that.
Okay.
I mean, because the rumor mill, for people that are not
Yeah.
on set with him, is that he's a psychopath.
I think like he's
Don't answer this question like he's going to watch this.
right. No,
okay?
yeah, right, of course.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
We got
I'm
security,
sorry,
bro.
man. No, he's
I
just,
ain't ever scared.
yeah, he's just a very intense, committed individual. He's incredibly kind. He's incredibly patient. He's incredibly nice. All those things, and he's sweet and he's funny. But also, yeah, he's intense. He's like he will commit to something and he will do it to the fullest. So
Will
I think,
you get reprimanded if you
Yeah.
make a mistake during a scene that he's in?
I
Like,
don't-
will
I
he
don't think it's
step in?
like that. I think it was the big thing that everyone knows about that happened years ago with that. I had heard there's another rumor going around that cinematographer in particular is kind of known for like changing things up while the take's happening, like messing with the lights or doing this. And I think he was
Pissing
probably
people off.
Lost his cool.
Yeah, and so it probably happened over and over and over. And the guy's probably hungry. He's probably working 14 hours a day. He's away from his family. He's probably was just a little on edge. During that time he was on probably something like performance enhancing drugs. I don't know if that was affecting his behavior, but like he's jacked up, he's intense, he's ready to go, and so
What are
and
you
he's
on?
That
and he's
happens?
trying to do and he's trying to do this scene and it's intense, and then you got somebody in your eye line kind of messing with stuff. It throws the whole thing off, and so I think,
understand.
yeah, he was probably warranted.
We all have little
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah. But no, he's a really really nice guy. He's really
In your conversations with Kevin Costner, because this
yeah.
happened, right?
Yeah, well, we had a very small talk conversation. I wish we had more of a conversation. I was only there for a few hours.
He's a nice person.
Yeah, really nice guy. He's a little hard of hearing, which, or maybe he just didn't like me. Maybe he's
Selective hearing.
no.
Weren't you in Field of Dreams or something?
No, but he's a really sweet guy, but he is a little hard of hearing. So like the
that
director would be
you?
in the other room, like shouting out directions to him, and he had to keep being like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And so I thought that was kind of funny. But he's a big musician, and I think it's from years of playing and rocking out that he's
Yeah,
got a
that
little
happens.
hearing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
got
guys
the
know.
100% of the time. Whee!
Tinnitus.
Going on over here.
Yeah.
Tinnitus.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You learned that from the show?
No, I wish. Yeah.
Oh.
Thought I got him.
Yeah.
Thought I got him.
Hey.
Jesse.
Yeah,
So-
Jesse will be watching.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
girlfriend, and she tends
nice.
she tends to watch
Medical stuff.
every medical show that there is.
They're great.
So
Yeah.
she'll be into
Yeah.
that 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yep.
I hope
Gotta
it-
get
I hope it
get
lives
dupes
up.
on the show. She
Yeah.
can have her own
So-
little doctor.
Yeah.
I mentioned 5 or 6 of the 30 or so credits that you
Yeah.
have in this field of
Yeah.
acting. Are there any that you in particular want to mention that you truly enjoyed?
I
That
got
was
like a weird one.
What's
I feel
weird,
like I
man?
should- yeah, well, I did an HPV vaccine commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And this was like I did it years ago when I was, still paying off student loans and all that stuff. And my
People
agent,
recognize you in those commercials.
that's the thing. No, that's the thing. Like, so I was working as a door guy at this bar in Los Angeles, and this
crikey.
person came up and they were like, man, did you go to Northridge? And I was like, no, I'm not really from around here. And they're like, oh, really? You look so familiar. And I was like, oh, well, I'm an actor, and and they're like, oh, cool. Like, what have I seen you in? What have you been in? And I was like, oh, I was in this movie, The Fifth Wave, and I did, it was Transparent. And there's like, no, I didn't see that.
that ain't it.
And I'm rattling off all these credits,
I'm
like
feeling a little
the ones
dirty,
that I
though.
have. Yeah, and then I'm like, and then I realized I was like, man, they probably saw the HPV commercial because they aired it over and over for years.
I
for
thought
like
those
2
were
or 3
real
years.
life, right?
Was that,
Yeah.
was that an upfront deal, just a flat amount, or did you take the other side where you're
that
catching
was-
residuals?
No, that was the thing. It's like you get paid based on the cycle or the quarter or whatever. And so then when they re-up it, they you get to renegotiate and you get even more money. And it was big
Nice.
pharma, so it was like that.
How long did it run for?
It ended up running for
consecutively.
like 3 years or something.
Good
like
for
that.
you.
You're
On
getting
and off.
checked out the whole time.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
That's what's up.
HPV for the
play
win.
Big ones, ESPN, yeah.
So it's
And
almost
on
like the
Hulu
gift that
and
keeps
stuff.
on giving.
Yeah, it was for years. It paid off my
So,
college debt. It paid
as
off
a
my
result
parents'
of
college
that,
debt. Yeah.
That's
Did
awesome.
Yeah, it
people
was great.
approach you
Oh shit!
and think that you truly had HPV?
No, but I probably do. I mean, that's the thing. Like, no. In all honesty, everybody has like a form of HPV. Like, there's so many different kinds, but it's just very bad for women in particular because you can get cancer from it, whereas men will get like, you know, genital warts or something. But like, you know, that was the big thing. It's like a serious thing more so for women, so that's why it's important for the boys to get vaccinated. Which.
This is coming from Dr. McNichol. Dr. McNichol.
Yeah.
Now, is there a reason why you didn't wear, what's the thing they put on?
The scrubs?
Why didn't you come in those today?
Today?
Yeah.
I should have. I don't have them. They're at the studio.
Your agent would have hit us up. We're filming today.
Yeah. Stethoscope. I do wear those, though. I do have a pair of scrubs.
You got a stethoscope?
I do have a stethoscope.
You do?
I got a couple pens.
God. This keeps getting better
I had
and
a
better.
clipboard and stuff. Yeah. Get ready.
Is it
Fall
specific?
2024.
Is it
Get
specific
ready.
pens? Like doctors have two
No,
pens.
no,
Is it like
no.
a one red, one blue?
Oh,
or-
yeah, maybe. Maybe there is one probably for like.
Not
highlighting
good.
stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, I gotta find that. I
Dead
should find that
soon.
out.
I'm writing all
It's
this down in
red.
case we want
Redding.
to film a
Bad.
medical show.
Like a
in here.
believable one, yeah. Or Halloween episode or something.
Halloween.
So we
yeah.
discussed the fact that you had no idea how to get roles, and then we realized that you weren't pursuing. Did we actually ever get to the point of what you did to start pursuing and getting
No.
the roles?
No, yeah, but it's
I feel like
it's
we
a good point.
sidetracked
That
there.
is a good point.
Yeah.
2012 or 2012, I moved back home,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to work in my local bar in my hometown and just kind of figure out what I'm doing. Started working at the bar. It was great because my boss there, Colleen Tomko, if you ever see this, Colleen.
Hey,
Colleen.
Colleen.
She's
you look
just-
great.
She's
Yeah, girl.
fantastic, and she's just just such a firecracker. And she was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know really what I'm doing." And she's like, "I thought you went to school for acting." I was like, "Well, I did." She's like, "Well, why aren't you doing that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out." I was discouraged, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Get your shit together. If you don't move to New York or LA by February, which was the upcoming year." She's like, then I'm gonna fire you. And also to her credit, like I probably wasn't the best employee, so she was probably like, you know, this.
I'm gonna
kid's
fire
like,
you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, get going, and so that kind of lit a fire under my ass, and I was like, that got me back on track, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna move out to LA. I'm gonna save up some money, go out there, get a credit card, whatever I gotta do, and then just hit the ground running again. And so I did. And so 2013, I moved back to LA. And it was a one-way ticket kind of deal, and I was like, I'm gonna try this until I can't, until it doesn't work. And the first year flew by. You know, talking about mushrooms and time, how everything's kind of different. That year flew by. All of a sudden, it was Christmas.
Not enough mushrooms in 2023.
Yeah, but I was working my ass off. I was like, you know, I had 2 or 3 jobs. I was, you know, working as a dog walker and as a server and bar back and like any other little odd jobs I could get. Being a reader for people, like always being open to just opportunities. Like whenever somebody would hit me up, hey, can you help me move something?
Not
Yeah,
being
sure.
entitled.
Yeah,
No,
just-
I'm an actor, dude. I don't move couches.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so going back a little bit, right after I graduated college, I went to New York after the showcase. I met with this great guy, Kyle Luker, who's an alumni of DeSales and a friend. And he was like, hey, he's like, are you going to be living in New York? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to move to North Jersey on my buddy's couch. He's like, oh, he's like, I got a buddy opening up a bar downtown, you know, lower Manhattan and all that. He's like, you want me to get your job bar back in there? And I was like, thanks, Kyle, but like, I'm just gonna act. I'm just gonna be an actor. That's what I said.
He's like, okay.
And he was basically, he's like, okay,
This
yeah,
kid's
like, okay,
green.
good,
He's
yeah.
probably thinking deep down, like, good luck.
He's right, yeah, absolutely.
With the other lady, what was her name? The
Colleen.
lady that told you to
Colleen, yeah.
You owe Colleen lunch, and she
yeah,
probably thinks it's
absolutely.
even cool to know who you are
Absolutely, yeah, it was incredible. And so, yeah, she was great, and Kyle's great too, and he helped facilitate the whole showcase, and he's been such a great support system for that whole college now, as far as the business aspect of it. And but yeah, so I did that. I was like, I'm just gonna act. Fell on my face, didn't know what I was doing. Kind of got my shit together again. Moved out to LA with a purpose and a drive, and just hit it, just kind of nonstop, whatever I could do. I was kind of living by this motto, like, if I'm not getting better, I'm getting worse. So I was like, wake up in the morning, go work out, you know, submit myself for jobs and projects, try to work on my craft, and then opportunities started coming in, and I was prepared for them, and they just fell my way with the auditions. And
You
stuff.
say all the right things there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happened, and I was seeing other friends who did have a little bit of that entitlement. They were like the star of some show or some school, and then they get out in the real world, and they weren't taught how to operate in the business, and they kind of just ended up kind of fading away, and as
Right.
far as the career goes, and I don't even know
Could
if
be
they're
your own
still
agent.
doing it anymore. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah. So yeah.
So
It's discipline.
what you touched on there is a very valuable thing, which is understanding ultimately that if you're not bettering yourself every day, if you're not learning, growing in some way, that you're dying. That's what's happening to you. When
we're
you
dying
do
right now.
nothing, you feel nothing, right? But when you get out there and you partake and you put in work to actually have a better day,
Then
You're
things end up
alive.
coming, yeah, and it's incredible the opportunities then end up coming, and they're aligned with what you're trying to do, and you're ready for them, and then I think that makes a big difference. Yeah.
So what we can combine here that's led us to this is, okay, if you add psychedelic mushrooms plus
I love it.
an absolutely failed attempt at being an actor in New Jersey, a short time living with your parents, combined with an epic motivational speak with termination involved from Colleen, and then a trip to Los Angeles plus work ethic and the understanding that you are not entitled to just being an actor.
Yeah, you got to be a good person.
Boom, success.
There it is.
HPV.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Don't forget the HPV. I
Yeah.
forgot the
Yeah.
shucks.
Yeah. Now, not to keep harping on the acting stuff, but now is such a unique time with technology and everything where, like, people, you can, there is no excuse to not be making your own stuff or just getting better all the time. It's not like you don't have to go to a big city to pursue this stuff. You can start pursuing it from wherever you are, if that is what you want to do. And it is a weird, crazy business, so I don't know.
You're driving in an electric car,
A Tesla.
a Tesla. Okay. And all of a sudden you're like, yo, it said 100 miles and now it says 50, but that was only 5 miles ago. And then it's 1 mile and then you're like, oh, snap, I got to pull into a driveway.
Yeah.
Is that how this works?
Yeah.
And then you go and knock on the door. Where are we when this is happening?
Oh, okay, yeah, Temecula.
Temecula.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah,
Now we're in Temecula,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, my God, I'm running out of charge here. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's not a station.
No
You pull into a
service.
driveway,
Yeah.
and what happens next?
Well, I tried to get in the gate, but there was nothing on the gate. There's no, like, intercom.
So
or
this is like a
anything.
mansion
Huge
scene.
mansion.
Okay.
Cartel-looking mansion with, like, trees lining the driveway up to it. Big circle driveway in front. And so I kind of squeezed through the gate, and I'm walking up this driveway, and I'm announcing myself, and I'm in a suit and everything because I was coming from my
How are
buddy
you
Gino's
announcing
wedding.
yourself?
I'm like, hello, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I'm on your property. Like, but my Tesla's
shoot
broke
me.
down. Yeah. I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm in here. I just need some help. Blah blah blah. I was just like,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Okay.
Kept going down the driveway. I get down to the driveway. There's like 4 cars that are in the circle driveway. They're all blacked out, tinted windows,
Murdered out,
black
cat.
rims.
Yeah.
They look sick. And I'm like, oh shit, this isn't a family. This isn't like, this probably isn't like, yeah, or maybe it is a family. And
It's a
I gotta get out of here.
mafiosa. Yeah.
And then there's like wetsuits hanging on the thing drying.
Okay,
There's, like,
that's
an
a good
electric
feeling.
Dirt bike looking thing, and and so I'm like, ah, shit, like I'm already here at the door, basically, like what I do. There was a Darth Vader statue that was spray painted all these different fluorescent colors, like neon and pink and all these things. And I was like, what the fuck? Where am I? Who is it? Who are these people? So I knock on the door, and then this guy opens the door, and he's like a handsome young dad looking, like a hip young dad. He looked like he was from Brooklyn or like LA or something. He had like arm tattoos, wearing a baseball hat.
Straight brim. Yeah.
Yeah.
In high school.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I explained my car is broken down. I'm out of charge. I have no service. I was just trying to pull over to the next house I passed, basically. I'm like, by any chance, can I pull
I'm an
my car
actor.
in? No, I do go there. Yeah, you might know me from this show. And he's like,
HPV.
He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, let's go look around the house. Maybe we can find you an outlet. And I was like, you don't know? You don't like live here? And he was like, no, we're just here recording an album. And I was like, oh, you're like a musician. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, do I know your band or like your stuff? And he's like, yeah, probably. And I'm like, oh, who's your band? He's like, Papa Roach. And I was like, oh my God, Papa Roach. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I fucking love Papa Roach. Yeah. And then Twan, he ends up helping me find an outlet, and then I end up plugging the car in. And then, I meet the rest of the band because they were super cool. He's like, come meet everybody, hang out, just chill, relax, whatever, man. We're just about to have dinner. And then I started meeting everybody, and everybody else was really cool too. But then I could tell a couple of them were kind of like, maybe like, is this like a super fan? Like, is this like a crazy fan? Who's
Really?
is he gonna kill us right now?
Are we
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah. And,
Give us HPV.
Don't
Yeah.
give him any food.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, they were fucking great. And like we ended up hanging out for a couple hours while I'm trying to get this damn car to charge. And you know, I end up going to check on the car. It hasn't charged at all. It's charged like a little tiny because it was just in an outlet. You know,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
cars need to be plugged into
Yeah.
a big fast charger and all that. And then one of the guys is like, "Oh wait, do you have AAA?" And I was like, "Oh, I do have AAA." He's like, "Well, just call AAA. They'll tell you to the nearest charge station." I was
Boom.
like, fuck, AAA. And so so we called AAA, and you know, I
It's a
ended
AAA
up,
commercial.
yeah, they came. And this is during the pandemic, so I couldn't get in the car with the truck driver like how you usually can. So they towed the car to the nearest charge station, and Antoine was nice enough to
To
drive me
drive you.
to the freaking charge station.
Papa Roach,
Papa
good
Roach,
people.
man.
So did
The
you see
best,
like
yeah.
a video, like a music video of them in that place or something?
No, they were just recording an album. So they were like, they had this whole setup. They rented out this beautiful house, and they were like living in it all together as a band and a couple of the
Okay.
producers, and they were just creating music every day. And speaking about psychedelics, which seems to be the theme of the day, so their chef was tripping on acid while he's cooking up this amazing salmon, and he was the one that
Acid
had
dinner.
painted the Darth Vader statue that was in the driveway. He was
No
like, yeah, he's
way.
this cool, fun, creative dude. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was epic, man. They had all their instruments there. They had a big cutout of Nicolas Cage with a bunch of joints like taped to his mouth. Yeah,
What are
really
the Papa
cool
Roach
guys.
songs that I would know there?
Last Resort.
Yeah, Last Resort.
For sure.
So let's sing them.
Yeah, Scars.
Suffocation, no breathing. Papa Roach.
Yep.
So were you in there telling them what songs you love? Dudes, I love Last Resort. And they're like, you gotta go.
Nah,
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
situation, you gotta pretend you don't know who Papa
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Papa
Let me
Smokes?
look you guys up
Jesus.
real quick. Yeah. No, I was a huge fan, man. I was like, I grew up on like Papa Roach, Korn, Limp Bizkit, like all
Oh.
that stuff back in the day. So
Look
yeah.
into these eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of cowboy hats, have you seen him recently? Fred Durst.
Fred Durst. Hopefully you don't watch
He's doing
that.
the cowboy stuff now.
Oh, yeah. He's totally changed up his vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was fun. It was just like I needed to charge halfway to the wedding from LA because I knew I wasn't gonna make it, so I stopped. I got enough charge to like with the GPS and the charge to like take me there. I was like, and with a little bit extra, you know. And then I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I got there,
Listen.
and then again, I'm just watching it go down. But if you're going up hills, if you have the air conditioning on, if you have other these things factor
crikey.
in.
Yeah, but
The
on mine
charge
it'll
just
tell you.
goes.
Like it almost makes you drive the 2023 for like 3
Yeah.
months, and it almost makes you drive to a charger.
That might be a newer thing because this is like during the pandemic. This is like 2020 maybe
Right,
or 20
right,
something.
right,
And
right.
like and this and I just was like watching it go down, and like I swear I'd be like, all right, I'm still gonna make it, and then all of a sudden you're driving, and all of a sudden it's like gone down even faster than how it was going down. And I think the lower you get, kind of with your phones,
It goes
things start
faster and
going
faster, yeah.
Even charging faster.
I think your car found Papa Roach through some kind of glitch. And
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
it took over and led you to them.
No, truly.
As you were listening to Papa Roach
In the car,
in the
Kyle
Tesla.
screaming.
Dude, I just had it on
Bring me
Papa
to
Roach
Papa Roach.
radio, I swear.
Hands free. He was jamming.
Yeah. And
Here I am.
Yeah, so it couldn't work
Hey,
out better.
Twan.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I picked that house. Yeah.
My car
Yeah.
brought me here, man.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and they don't even live there. They were, like I said, they were just renting that out. So the chances of that happening was like, it just was amazingly lucky. Yeah. it
Was there
really
ever a conversation that you're you with any of
Well,
them?
kind of, yeah. So then they're like, "Well,
Oh,
who are
yeah,
you?
you
What
were
do you do?" And I was like,
name-dropping
"Oh,
yourself, yeah.
I'm an actor. I live in LA too. Blah blah blah, that type of thing." And yeah, I don't know if any of them had seen any of my stuff. Maybe the HPV commercial, but like, yeah. But that came up.
We all
and-
saw the commercial.
Yeah, everyone did. If you
We
watch
literally-
TV between like 2015 to 2018 or something like that, you probably
I
saw
think you should
it.
come back and try to get a Magnum commercial next.
I wish. man.
Look at this unit.
Hey, so
Yeah.
people were saying some crazy stuff happened when you were boating once. Do you want to share
Voting. Oh yes. So then, which also has a Papa Roach connection in a weird
Come
way.
on.
Which is weird, right?
He is a super fan.
He's
Maybe
just a fan.
Yeah. So I did this show in Miami, which will hopefully be out this year, called Bad Monkey on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And, one of the directors and showrunners on that, he directed all their big videos from the 90s and early 2000s. Marco Siega. He directed, a lot of, like, a bunch of bands.
Yeah,
but
Marco
in
Siega.
particular, he's big in the music video scene when he was coming up as a director. And he was a director on this show, so I'm like, Marcos, this is crazy. I got to tell you the story about Papa Roach, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, different story. But so then, in between shooting, a couple of the stunt guys, they also had a fishing boat where they would go out and fish, and they did...
The stunt guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They did these scavenge trips, too. Like, they would dive down to, like, get stuff for people and all that. And they were like, do you want to go fishing? And we were like, absolutely. And my buddy Chris was down, and it was like for the weekend or whatever. And so we went out on this boat about 20 miles like east of Miami. And my buddy Chris.
Well, the sharks in the water.
Yeah.
That's the right place to look. That's the right place to look.
Yeah. And my buddy Chris loves to fish, and he also loves drugs. And he's like, so I feel like he kind of
What
like
up, Chris?
manifested this thing that happened. But we're out there, fishing, and we're getting these great Dorado, and we're having a great time. And he's they're letting him drive the boat, and he all of a sudden he looks over and he's like, whoa. He's like, do you guys see that? What is that over there? And we're like, what is that shit? They're like, that looks like a package. They're like, no fucking way. So we fucking hit the boat.
Tony.
Floating. Yeah, so we get over there, and they call it a square grouper down
That's
there.
right.
That's, the
That's
term.
right,
That's this
baby.
little
It's a
package.
square grouper.
And so we get over, we pull up this package, and it's this giant brick of marijuana, just waterlogged, salty marijuana. And yeah, we opened it
59
up,
pounds
and we
of
looked at
Colombian
it, and
gold.
It just was green but gross and stinky and bricky and just not good stuff. But it was.
Smelled like
But we all
ammonia.
knew what weed was,
And we kept it and distributed
Threw
it.
that thing back in the ocean. Got
Gonna
the fuck
keep
out
on
of there.
fishing.
Yeah.
We're out.
Well, that
Yeah.
square grouper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
The owners of the house.
Big shout out to Spiritual Rez and the song Square Grouper. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hell
got you.
yeah.
Yeah. They have restaurants down there too in the Keys. I
Hell
think there's a
yeah.
restaurant called the Square Grouper.
Been in
It's a
there many
thing.
times, play.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Spent a
Yeah.
lot of time Almirada Key.
Yeah. That's
That's
where I
right.
was at.
You just got back from there, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sugar Pine, right? Or Pine, something Pine?
I don't know.
We
Big
were all
Pine
over
Key.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Key West, obviously.
I got Key West coming up next week, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You know Caffeine Carl?
I don't know.
There's this
Caffeine
guy
Carl.
named Caffeine Carl and the Buzz. That's his band down in Key West. One of the greatest guitar players I've ever seen.
Caffeine Carl.
He's
All
like,
right, I'll make myself hip to him.
dude,
You guys
he's
have a
like
crazy collab.
he's like
you and
if
Caffeine
Prince
Carl.
Yeah,
and
man.
Stevie Ray Vaughan had a baby. This guy is insane. Like he's
Stevie Ray and
incredible.
who?
Really?
Prince.
Oh,
Like
Prince,
just
great, yeah.
incredible, dude. And he's just he
Yeah.
plays every week down in Key West. He's got a little residency, and he's incredible. Caffeine Carl.
Caffeine
Yeah,
Carl.
look him up.
I got 3
Stevie
Key West
Ray and
coming up.
Prince.
I'll find
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I like you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you too. Yeah, this is so psychedelics, Papa Roach. We covered a lot of it. HPV, acting, enjoying yourself, being you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What else you want to cover?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You think we missed anything? What is it? What's the goal for you in the world of acting? Like, what do you want to accomplish? At least right now, we're ever changing beings, right?
Yeah.
But what right now do you see as this is what I'm trying to get to in this world of
Yeah.
acting?
Yeah, that has changed for me.
Yeah.
That it started out as like, well, what's a dream role? And I would be like, oh, I would love to be a Jason Bourne or freaking Mel Gibson and Braveheart type of thing. But then I just want to make I just want to make stuff that like people connect to and enjoy, and that maybe makes them change or question or just kind of like assess their life or whatever they're going through, whether it's a relationship or a career thing or a personal thing. Yeah, so just any kind of good content that's real, that's organic, that makes people feel something is just that's it. That's what I'd love to do.
Do you think that the Earth is flat?
Me personally, no, but I know some people who do, and I mean, I've never I've never been to the end or whatever, but I have been on a plane and I've read about the science behind it, and I kind of tend to think that it's not flat.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So you're not. There's no chance. You're saying there's a chance.
I mean,
There's a chance.
honestly, I don't think so. But like, but then again, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Catch you after the next mushrooms trip. We'll find out.
Yeah. Let's find out, man.
Are you heavily aspiring to receive an Academy Award?
No, not
You have
no.
these
no.
types of like, I need to get that in
yeah.
order to. I got to gather these
Yeah.
accolades,
Yeah,
so my slate
yeah.
looks even better.
Yeah. I used to think that awards were bullshit. So I do actually, I see the pros of it. I do see the appeal, and I see like, I think I like the idea of the recognition. I would love to do somebody work that made people be like, wow, like we loved what you did so much. We just want to honor it and commemorate it. Here's an award for that. Like that would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that, but I'm not. It's definitely not on my radar as far as like, oh, that would mean something. You know, that would be a level
because,
of success. Yeah.
Again, the mission ultimately is feeling good and making people feel good and connect.
Yeah, and just pay my bills.
Why do you think that you're a nice guy?
My parents. My parents, for sure. Yeah, and my community. I got so lucky, man. I grew up in this great area, had great friends, and I did have years of entitlement. I was an only child. I am an only child. So, like, I definitely had times when, like, I wasn't aware, so to speak. You know, where I'm going through life where it's, like, kind of like, you know, that's Josh, but that's Josh to me, you know, and that's the son, but that's the son that I'm seeing, you know. But then it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I'm looking at you through my eyes, but you're looking at me through your eyes. So this isn't my experience, and it's not your experience, but it's like it's our experience. So that changed a lot for me, and then I was like, oh.
So you were able to break out of a circle that you never knew you were in, kind of?
Yeah, well, you find out that, like, I found out that I'm in that circle, and then I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I'm in a bubble in that circle. And then, like, you
Living
know,
in a tiny bubble.
Yeah, and
Were you really eating a lot of corn in that circle?
Yeah, and you apologize to everybody that you did wrong, and then you try to do better, and then, you know, you realize that we're all just in this together, and we're all connected. And stuff.
We're all in this thing.
Papa Roach song. That's a good one. Yeah,
I don't
I
think
love
so.
that song.
I never bought a Papa Roach CD, tape, or downloaded anything, but I have enjoyed the music.
They had all that stuff. I'm telling you, they had like wetsuits. They had
about.
like
Riding
mountain
music,
bikes, looking
surfing.
stuff. They were doing all of it. Yeah.
Terry.
Yeah.
You love that. Yeah, the wetsuits really heightened the music for you.
Well, I mean, if she's
Nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gavin
Oh, Gavin,
Morengi.
yeah.
Yeah.
no, Terry plays lead guitar in that band with AJ Pappas.
There's somebody,
AJ Pappas,
Papa
was-
Roach person
was those
involved.
guys. Yeah, I was gonna say AJ, a kid I grew up went to high school with. He's a good bass player, and
Yeah, he knows Alex and thinks he's quite creepy.
Not the first.
Hey.
I think he
Won't
tours
be the
with
last.
Scary Hoey right now.
Sir, so how do you stay grounded? And I asked that question because we both have mutual friends who they can be cool maybe when they're not getting work, and then all of a sudden they get work and they're less cool, and then they're not working it back. But as far as I've known you since day one, you've been consistently kind and genuine. So how does that grounding stay?
I think just constantly realizing that it's not my show. You know, this is as much my experience as everybody else's. And I do buy into the hype sometimes of like, oh, well, this is what I want to be, or this is what I want to do. But at the end of the day, you know, we're talking about the gas station thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what's different than me and the person working at the gas station?
We're
You know,
all the
fucking
same.
in this together. We're all just trying to be happy and live life. And as long as what I'm doing isn't messing up that person's experience, then that's okay. And if I am messing up somebody else's experience, then it's like, okay, well, let's figure out how to not do that, and let's change what I'm doing to try to not do that. And yeah, and I prefer that. I love the shared experience. I'm probably more extroverted than introverted, you know, in that sense, which I love being around people, but not that I don't love my alone time. But yeah, so I think staying grounded is just by immersing myself in lives of people around me, and, you know,
realizing you're just a
Yeah.
regular person that may have
and not
succeeded.
trying to please them all the
Right,
time. Like that's
right.
something for me that's
Right.
big, like a people pleaser thing. But just being like, just genuine, being like, okay, cool. Like I'm in this with you. Like let's do this. Like
Yeah.
who are you? Let's experience this life together.
On this topic here, at a previous time, I had a reality TV star on the show.
Cool.
That show never aired. It's the only time that. So when we had announced we were having this person on, I started getting all these messages like, I can't wait to see that. That's not going to go well. Hey, do you know anything about that person? Whatever. And I'm like, oh, it always goes good.
Right.
We have a good, it's going to be fine. And it was 7 minutes in where I just somehow it went sideways and she got up and left the building.
No.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Had some words for me outside and then carried on. And then I got the 28-page message telling me everything that's wrong with me and everything that I'm doing. And then a short one that said, if you air that episode, whatever.
I'll kill you.
7 minutes short clip.
Sometimes the ego does get a hold of people. What's that? Nah.
Never.
I ain't gonna give that shine.
right.
Not deserving. Yeah.
But
I do love her. Yeah.
With that being said, would you care to name anybody who maybe the public thinks is a little crazy, but you know is actually really genuine and kind and to hang out with?
Nobody's coming to mind. I mean, the
Christian Bale was a good one.
thing,
Was a
yeah,
great
like
one.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, everyone. It's just one of those things. Like like all right, Jeffrey Tambor from Transparent. He's a fantastic actor, great guy, all these things. He does have a bit of a checkered past, and he unfortunately, not necessarily unfortunately, but with good reason, things came up, and he did some things that caused the kind of I don't know, the fall's the right word, but the ending of this show. And but unfortunately it was one of those things where not to defend him, but at the same time it's he's a human, he's a nice guy, he's all these things, but he was volatile at times, and he did have these kind of when you are you get lost in this idea of who you are and all these things, and you start kind of taking advantage of certain people
Right.
in certain areas or situations. Things happen, and then you kind of, the justice of it is it comes out to light, and then you have to deal with it. And so there is something where who knows what his reputation is now, but it is one of those things where he's a great guy, he's a really nice guy, but he did some unsavory things and not good things, and he kind of paid for it, and rightfully so, and but he's the only one who I can think of.
But he was cool as a person. He was a kind. He was a
but
good
he also
enough
had
person.
a reputation of being
Right.
volatile and all these things. And so, but it's one of those things where not to defend his actions, but you see how certain people in certain environments
How it gets there.
can kind of
Right.
get there because they're
Push through.
they're just they lose themselves in the idea of who they are, but they're also away from their families. They're working these crazy hours. They're doing these crazy things. It's kind of one of those weird, you see the luxuries of these types of businesses, the music
Right.
industry, the acting industry.
Add
but then-
alcohol and some mushrooms.
yeah. But then you don't see the other side of it, which is it's not for the meek. It's a very demanding job,
Exactly.
and you do get put in these crazy situations sometimes, or you're away from family, you're away from this, whatever, blah blah blah.
14 and a half hour days in the
Yeah,
rain.
all the time, stuff like that, and then it's and so you can see how sometimes people can snap, or they can kind of end up doing things that they're not.
Because
proud
some
of.
people you can just snap because you stub your toe and then you're
Yeah.
punching somebody in the face. So it's all that stuff compiled up together. We're humans. Breaking points come.
I also think we don't give a lot of people credit. The more famous or more seen someone
It's a
is, the
lot.
less grace we give them.
Yeah.
Right? It's so
well,
easy
you're
to
under the
see.
spotlight all the time. Everything you're doing. Look at he just picked his butt. This guy, what a jerk.
Yeah, we just assume you have to be at a
regular
higher
people
level.
are doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Without naming names, I'm sure you and I both worked with people who have a weird reputation from people who really don't spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
First-hand experience is a wonderful thing. Let's do this without much thinking. All right. Alex McNichol, give me your top 5 all-time favorite actors. No thought involved. Fire them out. Go.
Okay. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke. Johnny, who's about to be an actor.
Johnny Dupes.
Johnny Dupes.
Who else? I don't even know, man. Denzel. Gotta be up
Okay,
there.
okay.
I
Faster.
was a big Matt Damon fan growing
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Matt Damon.
Freaking.
Frickin'.
No, hold on, wait. Who was Mimi and Rosario Dawson. Big fan of hers. And what, I need one more?
Yeah, sure. Make it 6.
Sure. Not fast. I mean, I grew up on like Brad Pitt. Too.
There you go. I grew up on Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
What a place to grow up,
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah.
Was it warm?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
6 or 7.
You know who's coming on the show is Keith Dorrington. He's the guy that wrote The Fighter.
Cool.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
like grew up with
Another one with
with
Christian.
Mickey Ward
Yeah.
and his brother there. It was like one of their homies, and he was the one that like kept the story, wrote the whole thing out,
Yeah.
and sold it to Mark Wahlberg, who wasn't on your list because you don't really like him.
I don't not like Marky Mark.
You called him Marky Mark.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He basically employs all of Boston's
Yeah.
like film
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
He's our
Yeah.
main guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he gives love to Millie's, and that makes me happy. Yeah.
Shout out Millie's.
So I feel like we've done a good job here.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah. You feel good?
I feel really good about it. What about it? Are you in, is there an actors union?
There's definitely a union, which
Yeah.
has been on strike this whole year.
Well,
which
that's
has
right.
been
The writers.
interesting.
How's
the
that
writers
help
are-
your
are
bank
the actors
account?
too?
So both of them were on strike this year. Yeah. It's a big thing. I mean, I'm proud of the union for the most part. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of like AI protection things at the moment.
Oh,
And that kind
yeah.
of makes me nervous because technology just grows so quickly.
Scary.
And it's just so who knows where we're going to be in a couple of years.
Right, they might not even need you. They're like, well,
Yeah,
we just need
yeah.
like your approval to use your voice and your body, and
No.
it's all set from there. But
Yeah.
you don't have to be here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so hopefully not. But yeah, so if that happens,
Hopefully
I'll probably be driving around the country somewhere, so I'll see you guys somewhere, wherever that's up here, or maybe down in Florida in the Keys.
I'm
maybe.
ready to hang out with you in the
Yeah.
Keys.
If you had to do anything else than act, what would you do? If like acting was not a thing.
If
anymore?
Mushrooms, I think he's already
just-
told
just-
us
just
that.
eating mushrooms all day.
You're
Yeah.
gonna be prescribing
really
mushrooms as the
making you out
doctor.
to be
Dr.
a mushroom maniac.
Yeah, which I'm not. I do love mushrooms, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a maniac. But, yeah. I don't know. Probably something simple. So there's been something really nice about the simple life. I helped a buddy out, Chris, who found the Square Grouper out with some tiling work that he does, which was brutal, which is a fucking pain. But there's something nice about having a steady, consistent.
Looking at the word.
And seeing what you've done, and just getting, like what you've made
Yeah.
and what you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and there's something really nice about it. So something like that, maybe,
So
or
like-
maybe like walking dogs or something.
Something simple,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Michael and I have built stone walls together.
Yeah, the Mason stuff. Yeah,
That's right.
That's-
Before
yeah.
everything, owned a masonry company, Evolving Stone.
Yeah.
There's a lot
We'd
going
be doing
on
push-ups,
there.
challenging each other. These other
Yeah.
guys are looking at us like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?"
Yeah.
We're challenging
Winning
each
at
other,
life in every
push-ups,
possible way.
carrying buckets of water.
Hey, you know what's an option? Having the best life. Like, just go do that. Yeah.
Find something you enjoy and do it.
Well,
Yeah.
again, I love you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time to move your physical body to this location.
My pleasure. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Michael. And
Yeah,
Patrick,
thank you for
Kenny,
making the
Johnny.
connection. Thanks for bringing a couple pizza pies with you.
Yeah, the least I could do.
Yeah. You could have done less, if that's what that means. But we appreciate the pizza.
Yeah.
And look at that.
Oh, he did his
brought
homework.
The vegan cheese.
That's that
Yeah.
California stuff.
Love
on
your
these
local
stuff.
hippie.
On pizza. Who brought this guy?
Yeah.
Go, why don't you guys come over here now? Flick it on to one, Johnny boy. And Kenny, you too. You're involved in this.
Security.
Down low here. Sit
Security.
next to that guy, but don't hit him because he'll fall apart. There we go, Skater, Thrasher. It's offering something.
Johnny, you're
That's
too young
for
for
certain. Right here, JP Horrigan, 421, better late than never, and a whole lot more. This is Alex McNichol. You already heard so much about him. Yeah. We love you. Fall Roots is here. Kenny, my new favorite friend.
Kenny.
Yeah, the newest friend. Yeah. And Johnny Dupes is down there. We love you. I'm Michael Bernier. This is offering something. Put your hands in the air, y'all. Yeah. See you around.
Bye-bye.